In this section, we will demonstrate applying settings that are related to the 3D image, as well as the templates, the 3D template icons on the right screen. To launch the 3D image to a single or larger screen, you may double left click on the mouse, or you may click the 3D icon, the blue icon in the lower toolbar here, and obtain a larger field of view for or single screen for the 3D image. Let's review a quick settings for the mouse. So if we left click the mouse and move, you have a rotation arrow indicating that we are able to rotate the image. To zoom or magnify the image, press down the middle wheel of the trackball. Move the trackball up and down or north and south, and you can achieve the resizing of the 3D image. For recentering or panning, hold the right click on the mouse and move the mouse, and notice the blue crosshair, blue crossbars in the middle, and that's how you repan or recenter the 3D image. Window leveling is an important feature to apply to obtain the threshold between the softer and harder bony elements in the dentition. So to achieve this, you hold the right and left click mouse together and move diagonally either to the lower left corner or southwest area, okay, for full face template view, or up into the right hand corner or northeast section to have remaining just the bony harder elements. To quickly return to the default template, simply click on this white CT 3D bone with the white check mark. That takes you back to the original 3D template very quickly. Now observe closely, if you will, during the rotation and when we release the left click of the mouse, notice that during the actual motion and rotation of the 3D image, the quality of the window level looks relatively clear. And when one stops or freezes that motion, the window level jumps to a different setting or different threshold level. This is by design, and you will not notice this if you have larger screens and monitors that you're using. This will not become something that you will notice. However, if one wishes to uncheck this feature, what you can do is select the Option tab and come over to the box that says Auto Super Sampling. Okay, uncheck Auto Super Sampling and return to the template icon. And it takes you back to the default. Now when you rotate, the 3D image window level will remain the same. And this is basically for the aesthetically pleasing view on the eye more than anything else. And usually this is one's personal preference. So just beware that if you wish to change that, this must be performed. Option uncheck auto super sampling and hit the template. This must be performed on each individual computer in your office. Now let's discuss the image orientation as it appears on your screen. Notice as we rotate, we have a lower box on the right lower corner. And as we rotate the mouse, the box moves in association with the motions that we make. So, for instance, if we go back to the original position by hitting the reset key or the letter A, we can see that the letter A is now the box position. A stands for anterior, and also you have the letters that are colored yellow. H is for head, F is for foot, R is for right, L is for left. The other way of going to those particular settings for orientation is you have these boxes labeled here. If one clicks on, let's say, P for posterior, now you're in the posterior projection very quickly. Here's the letter P, and now you've also inverted the left and the right by 180 degrees. By clicking the letter H or head projection, you're looking down, and this is the head projection. Okay, notice the left and the right are switched as well. Foot or inferior, if you will, this is the mandible, this is the foot projection, right and the left. Okay, for going for the right side, click the letter R. L, click the letter L, and you go and you can get the sides and orientation that you wish to go very quickly. Of course, you're always free to rotate with the left click of the mouse and move to any projection that you wish, whether it's straight on left or right or oblique. To return, simply hit the reset button or the letter A. It takes you back to the original default position. To remove the orientation box and the lettering off the screen, simply come up to the letter A. That way you can enable or disable the orientation. By clicking it, you can toggle between having the letters on the screen off or on. This matrix section here gives you the ability to move the image with a click of the arrows and with the direction that you wish to achieve, whether it's straight arrows, left and right, up and down, or curved, either direction that you wish to go. Now, the number in the middle will indicate that you can move with the degree, the number of degrees that you wish to move at one time. And this can be changed. Simply highlight, left click, highlight it in blue, go up to the upper keyboard, type a number that's different, let's say number 15. Okay, and now when you move, you're moving in 15-degree increments. You can also click the continue button. If you can click continue, take a particular arrow, and you can let this rotate on its own, whatever direction you wish to go. And again, if you wish to stop, just press continue, hit reset, and you're back to the original default orientation position. Alright, now let us discuss the 3D templates that are connected to your 3D image. Here on the right panel, we are starting first with the standard. Think of the standard icon as your page 1 of your templates that you can select. These are the default templates that come with your scanner, and you can select whichever one you wish to default. For instance, this is the most popular one, the CT bone, and you can select it. This pops up when we first launch the screen. And there are others that you can select as well. Here, as we scroll down, we can select one we call 3D General. We can call these whatever we want, by the way. But what these are basically are different window level settings, threshold between the more softer and harder dentition. Here we have more of a full face template. Over here we come up and we can select something called shaded VR, where we get a more of a shaded appearance and more of a translucent appearance. And these are somewhat helpful to select and apply according to one's preference. We have the other icon. The second one is called Other. This is like a page 2 of the templates. And there are different names to these templates, and you may go down the list and click each one to see what each template does. Some of these are very nice. I like this one, CT Transparent. Gives you more of a transparent look. Here we see a bit better look for the mandibular canal, and we can see the roots of the teeth very nicely, because you can rotate this and move this any direction you wish. And just have to play around with these and become familiar with what some of these do. Here's a nice one that a lot of people like, is the CT maxillary air sinus. Once you click this to looking at the sinus, once you apply this, you have to go up to the top, left click it, rotate it down. Now you can look down inside the sinuses here on the right and the left. Of course, you can magnify it, zoom it, pan it, and rotate it. It gives you a nice, beautiful view of the sinuses here in sort of a 3D projection. Okay, and you'll go back to the reset position to take you back to the other position. Now, you can also create another tab. For instance, here's one called Sample, and you can create more templates on your own, and create your own, and apply different templates to the ones that you have created. And that is performed by selecting either New Tab or Save a Template. For instance, one can make a template by window leveling it, or changing the colors by 3D settings. You could change from a different color, let's say. You can click on the color itself, right click it, change to a different color, whatever you wish. Okay, and then you can go down to template setting, go to new, and just name it test. Just call this one Greenie, whatever you want to say. Okay, and then click OK, and then that will be your new tab, or you can have it in the sample that you can select. So it's pretty simple. Actually, I created a new tab. What I need to do is save a template. So I'll just save it as a template. Whatever you want to call it is just fine. Okay, and so now I clicked OK. All right, and so here we have on the sample one, I have a new tab, and I've created this. And if I want to delete it, it's very simple. I can delete the tab, okay, and then that goes away, and so I'm left with the other icons. So that is just a way to check that. Now, if you want to go back to the original, just change the CT bone. Notice the white check mark is the default. You can change any of these to defaults. Let's say you want the 3D general to be your default. Simply right-click it, set it as default. Now when it's launched with the check mark, it'll automatically come up to this position. But most people choose to go with the CT bone. Just click it, right-click it, set default. And that is as good as any template that you can apply for looking at the 3D image. But it's all personal preference. Feel free to play with these templates on the right, change the pages, and play around with the default setting and also with the thresholding, and see if doing some of your cases that changing the templates will help you with certain diagnostic capabilities. One other item, you may change the background by clicking the light icon. You have these other features like headlight, and you can make it brighter or less bright. You could change the intensity level, contrast by just kind of playing around here, specular, and you can also change the background too. For instance, black is our background color. By simply clicking the color, let's say you want to change it to white. You click the white box, click OK, then you get a white background. Okay. If you want to change to another color, let's say you like a light greenish, let's say. So you click that light greenish to gray, click it, so you have a background of gray. So whatever your fancy is on it, you may change it. Probably the best background is the black background. Just change it back by hitting this. Change the color, click OK, and you're back to the original default position. Always go back to the template icon. That's your default icon. You wish to go back to that. So that way you have your 3D templates to observe. One last but important note on the 3D image. Remember, it's an overall global view of your dentition. Although very nicely, you can see the areas that you need with one image. Be very careful when you window level that you don't under or overestimate the amount of bony loss. Okay. Remember, your better sensitivity for that is your multiple thin slices with your CT images here, axial, coronal, and sagittal. Okay, so just always check your bony density against the level of the CT images, and that will be a good idea to do that, so one doesn't get too dependent on the 3D. As nice as the 3D looks, and as wonderful that you can look at all the different areas of the dentition from the field of view that you've captured, remember the multiple slices are going to yield your better definition and image quality, much as a radiologist would prefer to look at images as well. Okay, all right, that should end this little section discussing 3D, and we'll move on to a different section at this point.